every trader must learn to understand what market structure. So example, if we are having something like this, and this is supposed to be our last supply zone. So price trades into the supply zone and then maybe create an inducement, and then the next thing is supposed to push in and respect this area, start dropping, and the next thing you see is then the next thing you see is a bullish move to the upside like this one, right? Now, this is not supposed to be your entry. This is supposed to be your entry. So you will see price will trade back inside this supply zone and then continue buying. Now, why am I using this as my breaker block entry? I'm using this as my breaker block entry because this high here did not create a new low, right? This lower high did not create a new low. So you taking this as your breaker block entry means that you're definitely going to miss entry. And also there are some things you have to consider around this area before you take this as your breaker block entry. All right, because sometimes you can decide to mark it and then you use a wide stop loss up to this level here, and your risk to reward is very, very minimal, right? So you should learn how to use a proper entry confirmation wherever you want to take your order block. So you are not using here, you are using here. And before you use here, you should look out for you should look out for two things, which I'm going to say it when we go on the charts. Okay, so with this diagram, you should already understand that this is how to take entries using breaker block. This one gave a break of structure, and it was our last low that was supposed to be our supply zone, but price broke through it and then price returned back, then give us this area as our entry point. So now, without wasting much time, let's dive into the charts. So here on the chart, remember, you must be familiar with market structure. Without market structure, you are going nowhere in this market, right? You must understand market structure like I just finished explaining, right? So now, if you are reading structure like this, you already know that this market is a bearish market. GBP USD is a bearish market like this one, right? So it keeps breaking structure to the downside, break of structure here, right? And we have a break of structure here. Okay, so now we have two supply zone here we should be paying attention to. We have first supply zone here, and we have another one here. Okay, so now which of these supply zone is valid for us to take a sell trade, right? We don't know which one is valid right now, and because you must understand that we have this market, you have to consider something, logic over pattern, right? So if market is bearish like this, for this supply zone to be valid, I want to see a sweep. There should be a sweep like this, right? There should be a sweep like this. This is a sweep, okay? And this is a break of structure, and price created an inducement, drops back, push in, then this is a valid this is a valid supply zone. Okay, so in this case, this is the pattern we are going to be looking for to validate our supply zone. Now, there was no sweep here. Okay, there was no sweep here, so it doesn't validate our supply zone. Okay, this one here, no sweep, so it doesn't really validate our supply zone. So let's play this chart now and see what we are going to get. Okay, mind you, for me, I'm not going to use this as my supply zone. Okay, so now we have this area here. Okay, before then, there was a break of structure to the downside here. Before that, there was a break of structure to the downside. So this break of structure to this downside, now I have to remember this is what we are looking out for. We are looking for a break, a sweep, a break, an inducement before price taps, right? So now after this break of structure, I look to this other side. no supply. So I would have probably considered this as my supply zone. Yeah, right. There was a sweep here, and there was a what? There was a break of structure here, right? There was a break here, and there was another break here. So there was an inducement here. Okay, so I would have marked this as my supply zone. I would have for the fact that there was a break here, validate this as a supply zone, right? So now with this long candle to this upside means that this is what a breaker block that invalidated this supply zone. So now I'm going to use this area that was supposed to be my demand, my supply zone as my demand now, right? I'm going to use it as my demand. Remember, we've also had what? A break of structure here, a break of structure here. But if that this candle did not invalidate this supply zone, this candle that is our last lower high, I would have used it as what? An inducement. Because now marking this level as supply zone, price would have taken you out. So why not use it as an inducement for price to tap into the supply? So now that price has failed to respect this supply zone, I'm going to use it as my entry point. So I place my entry here, and then my stop loss just beneath this just around this liquidity area here. Okay, so then I'll target this high. Okay, I'll target that high. All right, so let's go. Okay, so you can see how price came in, tapped us, and then moved up. Take profit hits. So this is exactly what I always look out for before I consider breaker block entry, before I look for breaker block entry. Breaker block entry should always have a break for you to know. Now imagine you waited for price to come into this one, right? For price to come into this one before taking your entry, or now you mark this level and say, okay, this is an inducement, that price is going to come and take this inducement, and you have your entry here. What happens? You miss the big move. You miss the big move, and price will never return back to this place. So even if you want to like consider this, now we have a break. So let's say, because we go to the lower time frame, you clearly see that this is what? A break of structure. This is a break of structure. Or we can say, okay, let's use this high. Say, okay, this is a break of structure, and continue playing it. See what happens. Now that we have this, I want to mark this level again as my demand zone, right? I don't want this video to be that long, so let's see if price will come there. Price didn't come there again. So that is how to trade breaker block. And next time I'm going to make a video on reclaimed order block, right? Or reclaimed block. Okay, so this is like kind of part one for breaker block. The next one is going to be reclaimed block. Okay, so see you guys in my next video, and make sure you subscribe and also turn on the post notification. Join my free Telegram channel where I share free signals and also trade setups for traders to tag along for my trades, and also the trades I take with my VIP members. So guys, see you in my next video.